You have an amazing product that you make with your hands, and you know that people are gonna swoon over what you can teach them. But how do you shoot it? How do you make a video clear and concise while still making it interesting to watch? Well, guess what, Craftin' Cuties, have I got tips for you. I'll show you how to create concise instructions while still infusing your own personality into your videos. Stay tuned at the end of this video where I'll even show you a funny clip of me making a paper airplane. Hopefully that will help to give you some tips as to how you can start to put the pieces together. One of the most important aspects of shooting an instructional video is that you'll have to maintain a consistent flow in which you share your instructions. You'll also have to maintain consistent angles from which you shoot from. That way the viewer doesn't get lost as to which hand is right hand, which hand is left hand, what angle is she talking from now. It doesn't matter if you don't have anyone to help you can definitely do this yourself. If you don't know how to edit, that's totally cool too. I'll show you a streamlined workflow that you can get this done in no time flat. Number 1, create a master shot. What's a master shot? It's a way for you to establish your perspective and frame of view within the camera. For example, if you're working from a desk, you'll want to set up your camera ideally in front of the desk so that you're directly facing your viewers. Here you can give your viewers an intro of what you're going to be making. You might also want to set up some reference points. So for example, if you say right hand, you might want to actually raise your right hand because it's actually going to be on the left side of your viewer. You can also set up a pretty vase or something else that acts as a reference point so that later on when you do change your camera angles, the viewer can know, okay, she's talking about her right side because I recognize that from the scene before. Once you've established a master shot that you're happy with, go ahead and shoot the entire video from this angle. Yes, I know your viewers can't see a single thing of what you're doing, but just trust me on this and it'll make more sense as we go along. Number 2, create your close-up shot. Now you'll want to move your camera to somewhere that the viewers can clearly see your hands and what you're doing. Ideally, I like to set up the camera behind my left or right shoulder and slightly overhead. Make sure your viewers can still see that anchor point like the vase that you had set up to establish in the master shot. This way, once you have your camera turned around, the viewers will instantly know, she's talking about her right side now. I recognize that from the previous shot. From this angle, you'll want to make sure that your right hand is actually on the right side of the camera frame and the left is obviously on the left. This will just help to reduce any confusion when viewers are trying to follow along. This kind of reminds me of taking aerobics in the 80s when the instructor would be facing me and it would totally throw me off. I find it really helpful when the instructor would actually turn away so that I can mimic their movements. Oh, and key point, make sure you do a few test runs to make sure that your hands and what you're doing is actually in focus. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to follow along with something that you can't see. Number 3, show them the end result. I know that from past experiences of making things like origami that it's easy to get lost in the process when you don't really know what the end result should look like and how you get there. I find that in these situations it's really helpful to let your viewers understand the process and the end result that they're getting at. I encourage you to think of creative ways to showing this. You can, for example, use a fast motion shot of you actually creating what you're going to make and show that as an introduction. Then that way they get a quick glimpse of all the little facets that are involved. Number 4, make your videos different. How are you going to infuse your unique personality into your videos? There are a million ways that you can explain to people how you can do things. But keep in mind that people are also buying into your unique personality and the way that you deliver the information. Maybe it's a funny commentary that you always include when you're doing your close-ups, or maybe you have a really cool introduction that really shows what you do. Remember to put your unique twist on your craft because that is what will ultimately draw your dream clients. Number 5, editing time. From here, you'll want to take your master footage and put it in your editing program as your main storyline or project. From there, you'll take clips from your close-up and insert them only where it's necessary. That way, it prevents your viewer from feeling disconnected with your video by watching a sequence of disembodied hands. If you don't know how to edit yet, that's totally cool and you can still do this. Set up your camera for your master shot and explain what you're going to do. Then you'll want to move the camera to the angle of your close-up shot, from over your shoulder and slightly overhead. You'll start to put your project together, and then you can move the camera back to the master shot to explain the next phase. If you are following this workflow, I would encourage you to think of ways that you can segment the process so your viewer doesn't become lost in too many details or too many cuts. If you're able to break it up into 3 or 4 main sections, that's kind of ideal. Okay, in case you're still feeling a little lost, I've made a demo video of me making a paper airplane. I'm not even sure if this is the right way to make a paper airplane, but maybe I'll give you some ideas for how to set up your camera angles. So here we go. Oh hi, I'm Emmy Woo, and today I'm going to show you how to make a cool paper airplane. I bet you nobody's shown you how to do that before. We're going to break it down into 3 parts. The first part is making the paper into a square. That is very important because you need a symmetrical piece of paper in order to make the airplane work. Number 2 is creating the wings. That's what's actually going to lift it into the air so that it can fly. Number 3, have fun with it. You can throw it anywhere and at anyone, so I encourage you to start right away. So what we're gonna do is take my bottom left corner and fold it up to my top right corner. Make that fold. You'll see that you actually have a little flap left over there. That rectangular flap is what you're going to want to cut off, because having that piece there will make your airplane completely lopsided and it will not fly. And that is not what we want. So you'll want to open it back up and voila, you have a perfectly beautiful little square. From here, airplane madness can start. What we're going to do is turn the paper so that the point points away from you. You want to take the right corner and fold it into the middle seam where you just made that fold to make your square. You'll want to do the same thing on the left side. Fold that left corner into the middle seam there as well, making sure that your point at the top is pretty symmetrical and nice and pointy. From there, you'll want to flip your airplane over and do the same thing. So you'll want to take the right side and flip it back over the middle seam. And then you'll take the left side and fold it as well towards your middle seam. And there, I don't even know what I made. Is that even an airplane? Oh yeah. So from there, you can pick it up and slightly straighten the bottom parts out. Put your hands in there and squeeze together so that forms the body of your airplane. Puff up the wings and kaboom! You got a beautiful paper airplane. Everyone's gonna be running to you asking where you got that. Have fun! I hope that this video has given you some tips to show your craft in the best light possible. And remember to experiment and have fun with it. When you are joyful in sharing your craft, that really comes through in your videos. Thanks for watching Craft to Camera, the place where entrepreneurs get tips on creating awesome video content so that they can reach their dream clients.